Sergio on the rocks. Ain't no big surprise.
Oh my goodness.
Sergio Barrero, welcome to Real Talk. I am your host, Paul Britton. How are you, sir?
Doing good. Happy New Year, Paul.
Happy New Year to you. It's awesome to have you back to kick this off for 2026. How were your holidays?
They were great. They were very quiet and peaceful, and my wife and I are at an age where we just, we don't need to do much to have fun. And so
Right.
it was nice and calm.
That's good. That's good. Well, hey, good news is you got to have fun watching a whole bunch of movies over the
That's
last
true.
week. So, let's just dive right on in. Okay. Actually, no. You know what? I do want to ask you because it's the start of the new year, and I'm springing this on you, and I just realized, you know what? I kind of got to ask. What are you looking forward to for 2026 movie wise?
Well, I can't necessarily give you titles.
Okay.
Because I haven't yet looked at 2026. Other than, I know I'm excited about Bone Temple a couple of weeks from now. But no, I have to sit down and look, because it's funny you asked that, because I'm actually one of my items to do is to look at 2026 to give you a list of the the shows I hope to be on.
All right. Well, maybe when we do Bone Temple, we can revisit this question.
I'll be ready for that. Yeah.
Like I just got to know, Avengers Doomsday, excitement or dread?
It's a bit of both. Actually, it's a bit of both. But fair. Yeah, well, I'm looking forward to talking about that.
Fair enough. Okay, let's start things off. We're gonna start with a small budget Australian zombie movie, We Bury the Dead, that for some reason had the star oh geez, what she played Rey in the Star Wars movies, Ridley. Oh my
Daisy
goodness. Ridley. Thank you, Daisy Ridley. For some reason, had her doing an American accent, and that's okay. It was a choice, and they went with it. I'll be honest. I didn't know a lot about this movie going in. All I knew was that it was a zombie movie.
Same.
And I gotta tell you, this movie surprised me. It just because I had no expectations. I knew nothing again other than, it's a zombie movie.
Yeah,
and it's not really a zombie movie. Like it's a grief movie.
Mm-hmm.
That is a disaster movie where zombies pop up.
Yes, it's zombie adjacent.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. And I kind of feel like it's almost a lie to call it a zombie movie, because I feel like in a zombie movie, and I don't think this is a major spoiler. I feel like people kind of need to know going in a zombie movie, at least somebody's got to die from a zombie.
Right.
And that's not what this is.
Yeah, no, and the way I've described it to people who've asked me, is, when they ask me what I thought, I simply say, for those who are hardcore George Romero zombie fans like myself, because of the trailer, they are set up to think that this is going to be something that it's not.
Yeah.
But having said that, for myself only, I'll say I was pleasantly surprised.
Yeah. So, right. Like, and it was pretty clear early on. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, it was pretty clear early on that, you know what, this is not the presence of zombies is more a storytelling device than it is the a story driving device. It's not used to move the story forward at all.
Right. You can't call it incidental, because that would be minimizing, but it definitely isn't central to the story.
Yeah, and we've had this before where, but normally when they do that, the zombies are like, it's a comedy, Anna of the Apocalypse, or even, Shaun of the Dead, I would say is even though Shaun of the Dead is definitely more of a traditional zombie movie that is a comedy, but Anna of the Apocalypse I do think qualifies, where it's just like there's humor, and then like they're offing zombies.
Right.
Zombieland's another good example, where it's just like there's a lot going on, and
Mm-hmm.
the zombie aspects of it are important,
Central,
but
yeah.
But in this movie, the zombie part isn't really even important. The
Right.
important part is that, there has been a mass, extinction event, localized mass extinction event, and there are people that have decided to go and help clean up this event. We
Right.
bury the dead, and exploring kind of, specifically Daisy Ridley's drive behind it, and realizing that everybody has a different reason for being there.
Right. Right. It
And
it
yeah,
does some interesting things with. I mean, it's all allegorical.
right.
It's interesting to think about what could this story have been had they not decided to place it into zombie circumstances, because what would drive the journey, right? Not drive it, but what
Yeah.
would make the journey enticing. And because this, you could place this story into any number of circumstances.
Yeah.
The choice to make it in an apocalyptic event slash
Localized
zombies,
apocalyptic event. Yeah.
localized,
Yeah.
yeah, very
Yeah.
localized.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just think somebody, whoever wrote this, just said, "I like zombies, but I also love storytelling, and we're going to make this work."
Yeah.
So
And it does. It really works.
it
It
does.
really works.
Yeah.
And I don't know that it works if they go full zombie,
Oh,
where
not at all.
they go full on, like, okay, we're gonna have a couple scenes where people get killed by zombies. What, like, it works that, there are aspects of it where it's like, yeah, you know what, people are pretty shitty to each other, even
Right.
when there are terrible things going on, and maybe more often when there are terrible things going on. And that, that's totally like, straight lift from any zombie movie, but it, puts, is such in a sharper focus here,
Mhm.
because the because the zombie stuff is tangential, and you know people dealing with grief will do a lot to, to get closure, and it's put into hyper focus because of the, zombie. And
Yeah.
it's just, it was really interesting to see how that, as a side story plot element, really kind of fleshed other things out.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you don't have the intensity of her journey.
Right.
You wouldn't have as compelling a story that she is willing, because from the outset it's she's off to find someone.
Yeah.
The more you get into it, and I love how little they gave you
Right.
until the resolve.
Yeah.
The fact that it existed in a localized zombie event just showed you the lengths to which she was willing to go to get answers,
Right.
right?
Right.
Because it starts out as, oh, she wants to get closure, because that's what we think, right? But it becomes so much deeper than that
Right.
over the course of the events of the story. Um, it's a short film. It's 90, what was it, 83 minutes, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. That
Um,
sounds right.
and yet it still managed to weave in a sub storyline that I'm curious to ask you.
Sure.
Outside of time, did you feel it was even necessary?
Was the zombie aspect of it necessary?
No, no, no. Was the subplot with the soldier?
Oh, no. Okay, interesting. Um,
I don't know. We would have done
Well,
without
okay,
it.
so that's interesting because now now you have to ask the question, um, specifically that no, something
Yeah.
yes, like there had
Otherwise,
to be
it's a short
something.
film.
There had to be something. So,
Right. Right.
um, and I feel like you go one of two ways. You either focus on the zombies
Hmm.
and have a more
A little more
have
menace.
really a central zombie event that they have to deal with,
Right.
or you do what they did. Like there's got to be something because
Yeah.
there has to be something that drives you from act 2 to act 3.
Exactly.
There has to be something. And like it could have been anything. Like
Sure.
did it have to be what it was? Definitely not. Did what it was work? Maybe not. Because at the time when it happens,
Yeah.
it 100% worked.
Yeah.
And
It was effective movie making.
correct.
But it was just one of those things where once you see it as a whole,
Right.
you're like anything could have happened in this portion of the film.
Anything could have happened in this portion of the, and I'm not going to ruin the ending of this
No,
movie at all,
no.
but anything could have happened during that portion of the movie. And then Daisy Ridley gets her closure. Basically, Daisy Ridley is looking, her husband was in the south of Tasmania for a corporate retreat event, and she needs to go and see for herself what's going on with her husband. Like,
Right.
is he a zombie? Can he be turned? What one of the key things with this movie was Daisy Ridley's belief that there's still some humanity left in the people that are still alive,
Yeah.
and that search for humanity is excellent, and I
Oh,
love that.
absolutely.
I
And there's
love
some
it.
beautiful moments
Yeah.
where this is what I loved about this as a zombie movie.
Right.
Okay, was the unique takes that we saw.
Right.
It had never, to me at least, had never been played out.
Right. Even if I didn't particularly like the flimsy explanation that they
Sure.
gave, which wasn't really actually an explanation at all, but just one character's theory, and it's just like, you know what, I didn't even need that.
Right.
On what's causing individuals to wake up, but it still was those moments with the zombies were fantastic, like you were
Absolutely.
saying.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And then the very ending happens, and you don't get the very ending without the soldier story. So
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
let's just say that. And so I really liked the soldier story. An offshoot of the soldier story gives you the final scene.
Yeah.
I feel like I should have had a different reaction to the final scene other than
Right.
laughing. I don't think I
Right.
should have been laughing.
Yeah. I did. I was like, I don't buy it.
It just was silly. It just was
Yeah.
like I get it. And from a pure storytelling standpoint, okay,
Hmm.
but that is so obvious. That is so
Yeah.
it's just too cute
Yeah.
and not at all cute.
I would have been okay with it wrapping up on the final when they're on the ridge overlooking the shore.
Right.
Her and the other character. 'Cause
Right.
there's only 3 characters in this movie.
Correct.
Well, 4, but
Yeah.
flashback.
Yeah.
So yeah, they could have easily ended it on that ridge,
Right.
and it would have been 78 minutes, and it would have been okay. So, and I think better.
Yeah. Or find another thing to do.
Sure.
Like
Yeah.
there are things that you could do in the last 10 minutes that aren't what you end up doing.
Yeah.
It doesn't ruin the movie.
No.
It does make the movie a little, like,
Yeah.
okay.
I'm going to try to word this without giving anything away
Right.
because people would have had to have seen 28 years later.
Correct. 100%.
You know where I'm going.
Yeah, you don't even need to go any further.
Yeah, it's interesting how that's now a thing.
My first thought was did the people who made this movie, because obviously this movie was completed
Yeah.
filming before 28 Days Later came out, or
Right.
28 years later, before 28 years later came out. Did
Yeah.
the people who saw this were like, oh fuck,
Exactly.
like,
Exactly.
know,
You were on the same page.
did they say oh fuck when they saw 28 years later,
Yeah.
and they're just like, there's really nothing we could do,
Right.
so we're just gonna go ahead and keep it, but oh fuck.
Yeah.
And I think they did.
That was my exact thought.
I genuinely think they did, because it works better in 28 years later.
Yeah.
Like, it just does. It just does. And if I hadn't seen it in 28 years later, maybe I like it a little more, but I don't think so, just because, again, for a movie that went out of its way to not make any easy choices and to present new things, while what they presented there was certainly new,
Mhm.
it was also easy,
Right.
so
Yeah.
all right, I think I've said enough. Is there anything else you want to say on this movie?
No, just that the lack of menace drove me to watch World War Z, which I don't think
Okay.
people think.
Oh,
I love
good
that movie.
call. Good call. Like, yeah, that's like, you know what? I just got to get it out of me,
Yeah.
because I was ready for it. And again,
Exactly.
I get you. Yeah, that's an excellent call. All right. Here on Real to Real Talk, we rate movies using tacos instead of stars. And if we feel like something deserves a little extra, we will give it guac instead of saying a half a taco like you would with a half a star. Why? Because nobody eats half a fucking taco. Okay, Sergio. Where do you land on We Bury the Dead?
I gotta say, I love it every time you say that.
Okay.
So this may seem a controversial take, but there were so many things about this film that were so beautifully done.
Yeah.
That this for me is a four taco movie. No guac,
Okay.
four tacos.
Yep.
Because good storytelling, unique
Yep.
ideas.
Yep.
The acting I thought was pretty solid. And
Daisy
so
Ridley's great. Like,
yeah, she's fantastic.
yeah.
And so yeah, no, this was four for me.
Yeah. I'm going 3 plus guac. This is even without the ending, I'm probably still 3 plus guac. I don't know that the ending knocked it down at all. If anything, I might have said, oh well, I'm gonna knock it down to 3 times. But the reality is, again, the ending really is so kind of tacked on that you can almost just be like, okay, well, next time I watch, I'm just gonna kind of stop it when it gets, before it gets to that point, and I'll have an amazing. I'll have an amazing watching experience. I really hope people seek this movie out, because it's 100% worth seeking out, and it is super fun. The next movie is one that came out Christmas week, which I wasn't able to go see. You had asked me when we did Avatar, you had asked me, oh, are you going to go see Song Song Blue?
Yeah.
And my response was, yeah, I was planning on it, and I was planning on seeing it over Christmas and the long weekend over Christmas. But honestly, I that was my intent. It just didn't happen. And so when and we had discussed that you did want to come on for We Bury the Dead. And so when I realized I wasn't going to get to it on Christmas, at first I was like, oh well, I guess I missed it, because a lot of times I just kind of like don't want to do stuff that's been out for 2 weeks.
Sure.
But also because since you mentioned this one, and like I fucking love Neil Diamond, I was like, okay, yeah, let me see if Sergio wants to do it. I'm glad that you did.
Yeah.
So Song Song Blue is the story, is based off of actually a documentary. You can by the same title, Song Song Blue, about a couple in Wisconsin where they were both, entertainers, singers, who work small circuit stuff and are impersonators.
Mm-hmm.
And the dude becomes an impersonator of Neil Diamond, and ends up marrying falling in love and marrying the woman who basically becomes part of his band and does like Patsy Cline and stuff, and but also helps back up with on the Neil Diamond stuff, and he becomes like pretty Wisconsin famous, and and he does an actually really good Neil Diamond, and he's interesting. I'm not going to say he's charismatic. He is interesting. And I did see most of the documentary. I didn't see all of it. And I mean, like, Hugh Jackman's portrayal is kind of funny because it's like Hugh Jackman clearly like brings it down a notch or two
Yeah.
on the interesting scale because this guy was a character.
So, yeah. So, okay. It's funny because this is one of the we've had those times where we've been able to compare, a remake to an original.
Sure.
This is I don't, it's not the same. It's a fictional presentation of a documentary that was,
Right.
did your thoughts on the movie move at all, one direction or the other, once you saw at least a portion of the documentary?
Well, I actually sought out the documentary before going to see the movie.
Really?
I did. I did.
Okay, so you saw it beforehand.
Correct.
Okay, I saw it after.
Okay.
So
I'm
interesting. I want to know your thoughts.
Did you like the movie more once you saw the documentary? Because I would imagine realizing that holy shit, this stuff actually is kind of what happened to these people.
Yeah,
Like, because you can watch this movie and just say, this is bullshit. This isn't what happened. This is
right.
crazy. Why are they
Yeah, yeah,
doing this?
yeah. No, no, absolutely. And so, okay, I'm just gonna say it. I before I watched the documentary, which I finished today.
Okay.
I watched most of it today.
Okay.
I had a certain thought about the film, and
Okay.
I had to fight in my head. Okay, don't change your thought on the film because you now know that these people were not. They were kind of terrible. Like, yeah, if you watch the whole documentary, dude,
Okay.
I was not. I was like, I don't. These weren't good people. Like,
Oh, interesting. Okay.
yeah, I mean, yes, all these tragic events happen to them,
Yes.
but if the guy who did the original documentary was trying to feature them in a light of like, hey, check this out and look at what they went through, there was so much home footage
Right.
that made up that documentary
Right.
that was captured by a man who was nothing but ego, who was really
100%.
wrapped up in his own, view of things, um, and who they treated one another. And yes, they were in horrific circumstances with the accident with the wife.
Right.
But there's so much footage that's in the documentary that is so uncomfortable because they're just treating each other like garbage.
They do yell at each other a lot.
It is horrible.
Yeah.
And then there's that whole second half of the documentary, which just tells you this is a guy who can't let go
Right.
of and so I thought, man, what a polishing of the story
Yeah.
the film chose to do. And I
Yeah.
kind of had
Okay.
issue with that.
Okay.
you know?
Interesting.
And
Okay.
so
So I did I feel like I need to go back and finish the documentary now because I must have like I stopped it, not long after the accident. Like
oh, okay.
I watched about 10 minutes after the accident and then like something happened and I had to put it down.
Gotcha.
And
Yeah. It really does. It really does present a contrast to where you're like, man, this was such a charming film, and it was
right.
so well acted, well cast. I mean, well cast in that Hudson and Jackman have such great chemistry. But when you now know the reality,
Yeah.
there's this part of me that's like, I wonder what people really thought of the individuals because it's right there. It's all laid out.
Yeah.
There's no hiding who these people were and are because she's still living. And then I see recently there was on the Kelly Clarkson show, they brought the woman Clara Sardina, Hugh Jackman, and Kate Hudson, and they all sang together.
Oh,
And I'm
okay.
like, wow, it's like a rehabilitative attempt to clean up a story that you have right there. It was really strange. So
Interesting.
I was having this trouble of like, golly, I need to not let that infect my thoughts toward the film itself.
Okay.
But
Okay.
man, what a contrast.
Well, I don't feel like the film paints this guy as being either stable or nice. But
Yeah,
I do get the impression that he was frustrated but tolerant, but you're saying that he wasn't quite he was frustrated and not even very tolerant.
right. And it's funny because a moment ago you said I thought you were going to say frustrated and tall
Okay, no. No, he's
because
not tall at
man,
all.
casting Hugh Jackman
Yeah.
When you watch the guy in the documentary,
Yeah.
you're like, wow, they have this, and you'll get what I mean when I say they have really polished this up because
Yeah.
she's taller than him,
Right.
and but again, he's really into, and God bless him, he believed in himself,
Right.
okay, but to a fault,
Yeah.
and that is not at all what's portrayed in the film.
No, okay, that's a good point.
Yeah,
But the film, okay, so the film for okay, first of all, it's really important to understand. I saw this movie at like 8 o'clock in the morning on New Year's Day. Okay.
where do you go to be able to see movies at 8 in the morning? I want to do that.
Yeah, Sergio, I love it. It's not usually the first showings aren't usually until 10, but for some reason during Christmas break they were starting movies at 8,
I have to wait
and
till like 11 or noon.
it was heaven. It was heaven going
Yeah,
into a theater. And this particular movie I saw in a theater empty all by myself.
yeah, yeah.
And if you think for 1 second I wasn't just blasting out every single goddamn Neil Diamond song, you
That's
are
awesome. I love
insane.
it.
I was singing as loud as I just top of my lungs singing out Neil Diamond.
That's awesome. I love it.
What's your relationship with Neil Diamond?
I have
Because
an absolute love for his music.
okay.
I have a very, very close life connection. My mother, before I lost her, I had the opportunity to take her to see him
Oh
twice.
wow. Okay.
And it was, I mean, watching my mom, who was always sort of a very low key introvert, type person, just like you, get up in her seat. Like she was up dancing and singing along.
Great.
And, that's not the mom I knew, right?
Right.
And so yeah, I had two occasions to take her to go see Neil Diamond,
Oh,
her and I, and so I have a very special love for the music and the man.
okay. And so it's we had a record player and there were like basically four records that we had that were not like Christmas records.
Yeah,
And the four records that we had were ABBA, uh, Simon and Garfunkel, Kenny Rogers, and well, there were two ABBAs. I didn't have a Neil Diamond record, but I know all of the friggin' songs. And I literally called my brother and I was like, Phil, because he's my memory guy. Like he's
yeah,
my older brother. So I have my memories are pretty good, but sometimes a little blank, and he always is able to fill in the blanks because he's older. So like my memories are all of my memories are, he was old enough that
sure,
he knows what happened,
yeah,
and so this was an instance where I called him. I said, Phil, I know all of these Neil Diamond songs. I don't remember ever having a Neil Diamond record. Did we have a Neil Diamond record and it like broke or something? Or did like, what's going on? He's like, because I know he knows the Neil Diamond songs too.
okay,
And he's like, no, Paul, just the radio stations that our parents listened to and that our grandparents listened to played Neil Diamond a lot.
yeah,
He's like, we just know them from the radio station. And that's the point my point here is that Neil Diamond was on specific radio stations
oh yeah,
nonstop when we were kids.
absolutely,
Like
yeah,
and there's like 20 of his songs that I know flat in spite of the fact that I have never owned a Neil Diamond record in my entire
yeah,
life.
yeah. They're very catchy. They're very easy to catch on to.
Yep.
Yeah,
And
yeah, they're great.
anytime America came on, I was just like, everybody shut the fuck up and listen to America. Like that
Yeah,
that is just absolutely my jam.
yeah, absolutely.
And so the fact that this movie's coming out and the story, and it really, you're right, the story that they tell in the movie, which is a fictionalization, but
Yeah,
also the shit that goes down is actually true. It's impossible to believe that it's true, but also no, it's actually true. Like
yeah.
so, not a spoiler alert. Maybe it is. The
It
ending,
it hurts people.
the
Yeah,
ending is true.
yeah,
There's slight variation on not what led to the ending, but
right.
where he goes prior to the very ending. Like that's a slight mix up. Like
There's
they
some
add
license taken. Yeah,
there's some license taken, but no, like you know,
Yeah,
and the big twist, and it's not something that they're hiding, and it's practically in the trailer and everything. Is like his wife loses her leg in a terrible car accident at their home. A car rams into their home, and she gets trapped between the car and the home, and um loses her leg. And like you would be like, why are you even putting this in this movie? But it's like, no, this really happened to these
that was
people,
the story. Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
But none of that works without Neil Diamond,
Of course. Yeah,
which is
it's
insane.
yeah. I mean, there's no story to be told unless these people lived the life they lived, right?
Yeah.
And so I if again looking only at the film, if that was my only experience learning about this story, the film is really well done, and it incorporates his music so well. And I
So well.
love, I love as much as I was like, oh, this would be such a perfect moment for them to sing "You Don't Bring Me Flowers" to one another.
Yeah.
I found it interesting some of the choices of songs they didn't feature in the film,
Sure. And you
you know?
can't do them all. You can't do
And
them all.
right, no, absolutely. But as opposed to some of the decisions that were made in the previous one we talked about, they were too easy.
Yeah.
I really felt like, okay, they're teasing us
Right.
because eventually we're going to hear them,
Yeah.
and then we never do. But you're
We never
like,
do.
it was still a good movie.
They could have had 5 more Neil Diamond
Oh,
songs in that,
sure,
and I would
absolutely.
have been like, okay, that
I would have been
yes,
okay with it turning into a full blown musical,
gobble.
but
Yeah,
like,
I will gobble it up. I gotta highlight a comment. Blair says, "I can't believe you
I
don't own
saw
a
that.
Neil Diamond record," and I swear to God, it's true. And Blair has known me forever. He knows my musical tastes more than anybody else. He
Yeah,
has literally seen my record collection prior to the recent, blow up of vinyl. So my record collection, when it was just my parents' records plus the few Disney records that,
mm,
we got, collected as I was a little kid.
yeah,
But no, 100%. I don't own a Neil Diamond song. I know all of his songs.
yeah.
It's insane.
It's funny. I recently started collecting some vinyl. It's just so expensive.
Yeah.
And so there's a shop here in town called Half Price Books, and they have an entire section of vinyl that they're pricing. The whole gig of this store is they're literally selling books far lower than because they're all used, right?
Right.
So I'm able to buy albums for $3-4.
Right.
And it amazes me how many Neil Diamond albums people
Yeah.
give,
Yeah.
and I'm like, this is gold. Like, what are
Yeah.
we doing?
Yeah. Yeah. Um, all right. Sung Blue. I look, like you said, this is just a fun
Mhm.
adult, but not adult, just in the sense that your kids might be bored, but
Yeah,
not in the sense that there's anything risque or scary or anything. Like, just an adult fun time out at the movies. And we need more movies like this, and it totally works, and it works on every level.
agreed.
So where do you land on your rating for Song Sung Blue?
Before I give you my reading, I have a curious question for you and your movie brain.
Sure.
Does this get any award recognition? Do you think?
uh No.
Okay,
No, it's
I
not
kind of
going
thought
to.
the same.
First of all, the two, the one that you could probably mention is Kate Hudson, for
Maybe
actress.
a Golden Globe.
I don't. She might have been nominated for a Golden Globe because there is the comedy and humor.
Yeah,
Because the Golden Globe noms are actually the
are
Golden
they?
Globes are next week. Yeah.
Okay.
But Oscars, no. I mean,
Oh,
like you said, if anything, it's going to be Golden Globe.
yeah.
One other thing I do want to mention,
Sure, sure.
like one of the best use of the Neil Diamond song throughout, because I got sidetracked. My favorite part was when they were doing Cherry Cherry.
Uh-huh.
And like, he's just doing the guitar intro, and he's just doing it. And then she spins around on her chair and starts doing the piano on the piano. And when she turns around and starts doing the piano on the piano, I'm like, fuck yeah. Like, yes, that
Yeah,
it's just so perfect. That
yeah,
was my
absolutely,
favorite.
absolutely. No, I loved it. Such great stuff. So for me, This one is a 3+ guac. I like I want to push it to 4, but it's still and this has nothing to do with what I now know based on the
Right,
documentary.
right, yeah.
I just think as
It's
a
not a Four
film,
Taco movie. It's not a
no,
Four
it
Taco.
was compelling.
Yeah,
The guac is because such great use of Neil Diamond's music.
yeah. I'm in the same spot. It really is a 3+ guac movie. There's just no world where it's a Four Taco
Right.
movie. It's just not.
Yeah.
But it is so good at what it is.
Absolutely.
You know,
Absolutely.
and it deserves to be commended.
Yeah. I agree. I agree completely.
So the last movie that we're doing is Baltimorons. This had a limited theatrical release in September. I did not catch it then. It didn't get released close to me. I would have had to go travel and I'm like, oh fuck it. And then it turned out that it was a Christmas movie, and I was like, oh well shit, I want to watch this now. And so, you know, I feel like I'm late, but then I watched it, and like I had no intent to cover it.
Okay.
But then I watched it and I was like, I wonder if I could get Sergio to watch this because I actually would like to talk about this movie.
I'm glad you did. I'm
Yeah.
glad you did.
All right.
Because it was such a surprise to me.
Yeah.
There's a lot that could be said that is not that this film struggles with.
Right.
But I again, this was a week in which we got to talk about movies that made interesting decisions.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And Baltimorans falls right into that wheelhouse
100%.
because it takes the rom-com genre and format and turns it on its ear.
And it loves it. You can tell the people who made this love fucking rom-coms. Love them.
Absolutely.
And says we definitely want to do something a little different.
Yeah, and they love Milwaukee. And Milwaukee, if you know your Milwaukee, you know, it was so sad to see that shot of the Key Bridge.
Yeah.
Towards the second or the last third of the film. And you're like, "Oh my gosh, like." But this movie really it starts off and I'm like, "Okay, am I going to be able to get through this?" And then it was over and I'm like, "Oh wow, I couldn't stop watching." Every time I kind of felt like, "Okay, this is starting to drag." It just something interesting happened and it has a lot to do with the two leads.
But it has everything to do with the two leads, and the male lead also was a co-writer on it, Michael Strassner, who I promise you've never seen in anything.
No.
And the female lead, Liz Larson, who again I promise you've never seen in anything.
Yeah.
So the movie is it's New Year's Eve, or not New Year's Eve, it's Christmas Eve. I apologize. It's Christmas Eve. The movie is pretty much all in one night.
Yeah.
It's not all in one night, but the great majority of what transpires is all in one night, Christmas Eve movie, and a young man who we are introduced with attempting suicide. I mean, it starts pretty dark, but tries to hang himself, but the what he uses for a rope breaks, and like he needs to find a dentist because on Christmas Eve some time has passed since his suicide attempt. We find out that he's 6 months on the wagon, so we'll say he's it's 6 months later. He's 6 months on the wagon, sober, and but he ends up like busting a tooth and needs to see a dentist emergency on Christmas Eve. And the dentist that he ends up seeing is just this really kind of quietly interesting individual who he latches onto and just follows around. They basically almost like they basically follow each other around all Christmas Eve. And and like you said, there are moments in the movie where it slows down and it stops for a breath, but those moments work to get you ready for the next interesting place where they go.
there's I'm going to steal a line from a review that I read after I'd seen the movie, and it described it so perfectly when it said these two people spend most of this film trying to get away from one another,
Yeah.
but circumstance prevents it
Right.
over and over. And it's such an apt description of how the film flows, to where there are certain points where they're in scenarios that would be unbearable.
Yeah.
And yet, through clever use of humor
Yeah.
and great writing,
Right.
it, again, I found myself going, okay, I got through that scene
Yeah.
and it was great. And then the next one, I was like, oh, now here I am feeling stressed again. But then and so
and there are so many moments where it's like, oh, is this going to get cringy? And it never
you
gets
keep waiting for that. Yeah, you keep waiting for that.
It never gets cringy. It just
Right.
it becomes it takes cringy and says, you know what? No, we're gonna make it engaging, and it
Exactly.
really and it really is engaging. And it's like these people are just people who just stumble into each other in scenario after scenario that works.
Yeah.
It
No,
just
absolutely.
yeah.
I
I
was
mean
going to say, I'm glad you used the word engaging, because I couldn't think of what word I wanted to use, because charming just doesn't do it.
yeah.
It's so much more than that.
And
it's
it,
that
yeah, and
engagement.
it's not charming because neither of these people are charming at
No,
all.
not at all.
You know,
I mean, it's charming in what it's attempting to do
for sure.
from
Yeah,
a storytelling standpoint,
yeah,
but it's so much more about the engagement and the
yeah.
fact that everyone is relatable.
Right,
As an audience member, I'm going through this going, I know what that feels like.
right,
I've been in that scenario, or whatever the case might be, right?
right.
And so, yeah, I'm so glad you brought it up, because I didn't even know it was a thing until you told me. So
So I had it's been on a lot of people's year-end favorites list,
okay,
and somebody in one of the movie Facebook groups that I'm in, somebody was just like, hey, just so you know, this is a Christmas movie. It's streaming. You really should watch it.
right,
And that stuck in the back of my head. And then I never noticed where it was streaming until like one day I was looking for something on Prime to watch, like literally just like I just once. And Prime is where my AMC Plus subscription
right,
is.
same.
And it's like, oh my God, yeah, this is
There it
exactly
is.
what I'm going to want to watch. And so, and then I like literally, it was halfway through Act 2, and I was just like, I've got to see if Sergio wants to watch this because
I'm glad you did. I really appreciate you bringing it up, because I
yeah.
enjoyed it.
All right, where do you land on this one?
This is a strong 4 for me.
100%.
There are so many things that this movie does well,
Yeah.
and I just think it's a great movie. I enjoyed it tremendously, and it's probably one I'm going to ask Jen to watch it with me again. So,
Oh, awesome. Yeah, no, this is 100% a Fort Taco movie. Like that,
yeah.
that's just the right answer. And if somebody says, "Oh, I don't like it," this is literally one of those movies where if like somebody says, "Just didn't work for me, I didn't like it," I would look at them and be like, I never want to know your movie opinion because I don't understand a person who this movie wouldn't work on.
Yeah,
Like that
yeah,
just doesn't make sense to me.
gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does fit a broad audience. Yeah.
All right. So, all right. Let me hide this because we just need a blank thing for a minute here. All right.
Oh, geez.
I since watching Song Sung Blue, I have been on an absolute Neil Diamond tear because,
Oh,
as
okay.
I mentioned,
Yeah.
I do not own a Neil Diamond album. So I literally in my life have never in my life sat down and been like, I'm listening to Neil Diamond. Not
Okay.
once in my life ever.
Yeah.
This year, I something happened where I finally kind of got my own Apple Music subscription
Hmm.
this year. Okay. And like, so I've always been a Sirius XM guy. I like the radio. I like if I'm not going to listen to a specific album, I like the idea of kind of not knowing, letting somebody else pick what I'm going to listen to next, but like
Yeah.
within a genre type of
Sure.
thing, like, so I've never done like the deep dive on an artist because, except for the artists for whom I have CDs for. So like all the CDs I would several times in my life, I have said, all right, I'm going to sit down and listen to all of my CDs in alphabetical order by artist, several times. Actually, when I first met, anytime Frank Sinatra pops up, my wife Jen mentions, hey, this is what we were listening to on my first date because it happened to be S on your listen through for your music. And I was like, yeah, I know. It's great. But now that I have my own Apple Plus thing, I realize that, they have the essentials for artists. And so I've just been listening to the Neil Diamond Essentials because it's like the 20 songs that I know by heart plus like an extra 10, and I skip those 10 for the most part. And so I've been on a tear. And then Monday morning, I'm like, I have never seen The Jazz Singer. And Sergio is going to be on this podcast with me. And I think I need to do a what the hell did I just watch of The Jazz Singer. I think it's time.
And was it because of what you'd heard about it?
What I've heard about it only is that it's terrible.
Right.
Okay. So let's just be clear. The only thing that I know about the Jazz Singer is that it's terrible.
Okay.
And it has Neil Diamond songs in it. Those were the two things I knew about The Jazz Singer. Okay, it's terrible, and it had Neil Diamond songs in it.
Yeah.
Then I was like, all right, let me look at this thing. The next thing I found out about it was it has Sir Laurence Olivier in it. That was literally the third thing I found out about The Jazz Singer. And I'm like, holy shit, I definitely am doing this for what the hell did I just watch? The fourth thing I found out about it was streaming for free on Tuesday on Tubi. And I'm like, well, now it's inevitable that this is God telling me I have to do this thing. And then the fifth thing I found out about it while I was reading reviews from, I went on IMDb and started kind of reading contemporary reviews because the reviews are all horrible. All of the contemporary reviews are horrible. All of the modern reviews are like, oh my God, this is so bad, it's good. Newsflash, if it's so bad, it's good, it's still bad. So you don't give it 8 stars, 8 out of 10, just because it's so bad it's good. It's still just bad. So you can still give it 2 stars, but you can say I love it.
Right.
Much like I did with the Apple, but we'll get to that. So I'm like, yeah, I got to do this thing. So the fifth thing I found out about it was that Neil Diamond is in blackface, and I'm like, yeah, I got to do this movie.
Well, and you do know that occurred in the original 1920
for sure. So, but I knew that. I knew that Al Jolson, the whole movie is just him being in blackface, and which was not at all even remotely, controversial in 1928 or whatever it was. In 1980, it's pretty fucking controversial. It's not super terrible, but it's also not a good look.
Yeah, well, I think when we see it from the lens of today, we forget that in 1980 it probably wasn't as.
It wasn't as, but it was still pretty bad.
Bad look.
Even the only reason why he got away with it because he literally came out even at the time and said, look, it was an homage to the Al Jolson movie.
Sure.
And it's like, guess what? You can do a lot of things that are an homage to the Al Jolson movie. One of them doesn't have to be you going in blackface.
Oh yeah, I mean the storytelling, the story beats, which were very much the same, did that.
Yeah.
It was
And so, but oh my God, and then. So this is what the hell did I just watch?
I love how all of this was before you even saw the film.
Yeah. So then I start watching the movie, and I get 10 minutes in. I get literally 10 minutes in, and I'm like, holy shit, this movie was made in 1980. I need to look something up.
Okay.
And I look up the release year of Xanadu, another classic what the hell did I just watch movie. And I see that it's released in 1980. And then I look up my all-time favorite what the hell did I just watch movie, which is The Apple. And I see that yes, it indeed also was released in 1980. And I realized that there was in 1980 an unintentional trilogy of absolutely nearly unwatchable musicals, all based off of the concept of the main characters wanting to get into the music industry. And that's just what the movies are based. It's just, let's follow these these three characters try to make their way into the music industry, and we'll give the people who are making the movie a lot of cocaine. And that's it. Like that's what we're gonna give them cocaine, and we're gonna let them make a movie. And for some reason, the people who were making The Jazz Singer decided to do all of their cocaine after they were done filming for the day, whereas the people who made Xanadu and The Apple were doing the cocaine during, set breaks and lunch breaks, and every aspect of those, like literally, like people are like just wiping cocaine off of themselves in the middle of the movie in some scenes. Whereas The Jazz Singer, doesn't have that problem with it as much, but is equally as misguided and terrible.
Yeah.
The final act of this movie. Okay. So Neil Diamond. Okay, so the story is well known. The story of this is a cantor, a Jewish pious man decides that he wants to, become big in the modern music scene. In the 1920s, it would have been jazz. Today, it's rock and roll. And so he leaves his life to make it big.
Mm-hmm.
And thereby ruining his family. And that's just the story. In this movie, his father is played by I just cut the fucking check, Sir Laurence Olivier.
No, man.
Literally, like that's, everybody, he even tells the people who are making the movie, look, I'm only here for the money. Like, that is a known thing, that's what Sir Laurence Olivier was doing, much like Gene Kelly and Xanadu. It was just like, look, I need the money. And he's terrible in this movie. Like, just terrible. Neil Diamond, not surprisingly, is terrible in this movie. But
Lucy
Arnaz. No, good point. Lucy Arnaz is terrible in this. Everybody's terrible in this movie. And but except for the female lead, once they get to Los Angeles, who actually was okay. Like, she was mildly charming. Yeah. Like everybody, but you get to the point where the father shows up, confronts his son, says, please come back. He says, no, you're dead to me. And now Neil Diamond is in a emotional fog as he's trying to cut his first record. And, he's just in a shit mood and is just mad at everybody. And I literally said to myself out loud, not to myself, I said out loud to the screen, I don't need him. I don't need you. I don't need anybody. Because there is a movie from the 80s where that happens, and I can't remember what it is. It might be The Jerk. I don't remember where I heard that before. Yeah. But then literally in the movie, Neil Diamond says, I don't need him. I don't need you. He doesn't say I don't need anybody. He says, like, I don't need any of this or something like that. Yeah. But it's a play off of the thing. And I'm like, oh, well, this fucking does it. I mean, just... And then he goes off to Texas.
The montage that follows is hilarious.
It's just mind-boggling, Sergio.
Yeah. By the time he becomes the cowboy drifter,
right,
I'm laughing my ass off.
Oh, it's and like we as the audience find out that his girlfriend in Los Angeles is pregnant. She doesn't tell him though. Before he just fucking bolts and goes. And then, but his good friend from Los Angeles, who got him to go to Los Angeles from New York, finds him. How? A musician can always find another musician. Okay. And informs him that he has a kid.
Yeah. We can hardly do that today with all the technology we have.
Right? Like, I don't know, man. And for some reason the person that's footing, his producer is willing to put up with him vanishing before they're able to release the record and lets him finish the record. And This movie is bad, Sergio.
Yeah, it's horrible. Mystery Science 3000 needs to do a treatment of this.
For sure, for
Some
sure.
kind of format. Yeah, no, and again, with this movie just wanted to have a scene where Neil Diamond would sing America. Like that was what that's what it was all going to lead to.
Yeah,
That's where I believe. I'm just speculating, but I would love to believe that Neil Diamond said, "Dude, there's a story,
I
but we're gonna
there's
not sure what it is yet.
I have this really good song, and
There's a
I just
great
want it to
scene though
be
where I'm gonna play America."
yeah.
So,
And also let's have a sad scene where I get to sing "I Love on the Rocks."
right,
And the problem is the scene where he sings "Love on the Rocks" isn't even like a sad. It's just like the the
you're
British
singing the
asshole rocker that he's trying to sell "Love on the Rocks" to is just such a stereo. It's oh my god,
that whole scene. There's nothing in this movie that doesn't make me laugh.
yeah.
Just
And there's nothing. There's almost nothing in this movie that is supposed to make you laugh.
right, exactly. Yeah, it was unintended comedy.
Yeah. Oh my god, when his mousy Jewish wife shows up and she is such a pill and she is just like, I don't want any of this. I just want you to be a poor cantor and we'd still live in your parents' house.
Right.
What? Like, okay, like you're not even gonna say, look, isn't there a way that we can have both of these things? Like it's just like, nope, I want you to be fucking poor and miserable.
Right.
Come on.
I don't
Oh
want
god.
stability.
Yeah. Like
Oh my
I
god.
like being poor.
Yeah.
No, like nobody likes being poor. Um, and I can understand not wanting to be famous, but like,
Sure.
you know,
Yeah.
oh my god, this was a terrible movie, but I am so glad I watched it because I got the unintentional trilogy of terrible musicals about people trying to break into the music, all happening in 1980. That just blows my mind. Everybody needs to watch The Apple. Everybody needs to watch Xanadu, and then you can watch this one and just be like, yeah, wow. The fact that The Jazz Singer is by far the worst of those three movies
Yeah.
tells you a lot.
Oh,
Like I'll
absolutely.
never revisit The Jazz Singer, but if somebody said to me, "Hey, I'm going to put on The Apple or I'm going to put on Xanadu," I'm like, "Let's fire that shit up right now.
Yeah.
Let's do that right now." Those are bad fucking movies, but I will absolutely watch them at a moment's notice just because they are fascinating moments of cinema, whereas there's just really nothing fascinating with this other than like just what a mess it
It's a
is.
train wreck. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
All right, Sergio. We'll
Fun
see you in a few
times.
weeks.
Absolutely. I'll see you for although there's some good stuff next week. I wish I had more
Is
time.
there?
Are you watching Primate?
Oh yeah, I guess I do want to go see Prime. I don't want to, but I'm going to.
Yeah, there's that, and I was just looking a little while ago. Um, gosh,
That's all I'm seeing.
yeah, I'm kind of curious about that. I Was a Stranger. I don't know why Greenland got a sequel.
Oh,
Uh,
Greenland 2, that's the other one.
yeah,
Yeah, that's right. Neither of these movies I'm excited about going to see.
yeah.
I
Week after though, that's going to be
That's the
28 Years
Bone
Later,
Temple.
Bone
Yeah.
Temple, and also, are you going to the Coral Ray finds as well?
It's
That's
I don't
pretty.
know that I don't know that oh, if I can see it, I will be seeing it.
All right, I'll check it out, see if I can find it. But yeah,
Yeah,
we'll
yeah.
we'll hopefully be doing more of this year, Paul. Thank you for all of
Yeah,
it.
absolutely. You want to close this off?
Sure, absolutely. Thank you, Paul, and thank you to all of you who are watching. We appreciate you always joining us and getting our thoughts on all things movies. We will see you again soon. Don't forget, as we always say, you're awesome, you're amazing, and the world's a better place because you are in it. We'll see you soon.
Thank you, everybody.